Okay. So, Hare Krishna, all the devotees, welcome you all. So, the objective of today's session that we are meeting is to discuss what we need to do together in the Action Learning Project 4. So, what I will do first is I'll just do a quick recap of what we have done and then go into what I have learned on what I was being taught in the Action Learning Project 4 to do our first assignment. Okay. And the other thing, important thing is that this session needs quite a bit of an interaction. So I encourage all of you to participate. And the session at the most should not take more than 45 minutes. So we should be able to wrap up before 8. So first, let's take a look of what has been going on. So if you see here in the shared screen, we have assignment 1 where we have done the team building and the project charter and project definition. And then we understood our strategic foundation, how our project aligns with ISKCON values, ISKCON 7 purposes. Are there any other purposes also we are trying to align with? And what are our core values? And all those things were documented and preserved there. And then we worked on the mission and vision statement. I really thank all of you for your contributions. I could submit the assignment well within the target date. I have not got the grading of that yet, but as soon as it comes, I will let you know. So now today, after the mission and vision statements are there, the audience analysis and competitive analysis will happen. Okay. Before we go there, what is this? I'll just share with in other thing. You remember that this is one of the very key foundational things that we were discussing. The key element of, the whole strategy, realization of Prabhupada's mission. So we had done the strategy contemplation. Who are we? Why do we exist? What do we stand for? And so on and so forth. And we also are doing now the strategy formulation. So where are we now? What do you want to be? These are some of the questions that we have answered in our mission and vision statement. And there are further things that will be dealt with as we move along. So once we do the mission and vision statements, what we will do is I'll now show a good graphic that was given to us during the course. I think it's why I'm saying it's a good graphic is we can use that thing even in our material life. I think this was prepared by one of the ex-alumni of the course. So here, you're able to see this, right? So if you take that as a strategic contemplation and strategy formulation, so understanding our strategic foundation, we have done this, defining the business context, the mandate. And then we have done the mission and vision, clarity on who we are, what is our purpose, what do we value the most, and our vision of the future. So this we have completed. So now what we are doing is what is known as an environmental scan and an organization scan. So in orthodox project management terms, these are called as the stakeholder analysis also in one way or another. So when we are executing any project, we need to know who is our audience and what are they and what are the characteristics of the audience. This will help us to know ourselves better, and it also helps us to plan better, and it also helps us to communicate better, and also helps us to fine-tune our execution plans. So we are in this phase of environmental scan, and then we proceed to the organizational scan, and then the strategic plan will get into a more shape. I'm trying to slightly enhance this slide, which is there. I've requested them to give me a PPT version so that I'll try to put some value adds there and map the ALP numbers into this thing so that we will be very clear about what we are doing. But this is a very generic thing. It can be applied anywhere, even in our material jobs. So if you're getting into a project, or we have been assigned a project, either in the yatra or also in our material life. So once I do the enhancements, I'll share it with you all. So now, once we got these two pictures in our mind, so then let's go into to see what is from a course perspective. So first three things I have already told. So assignment 4 is an audio analysis and competitive analysis. The very word analysis means it gives one fundamental thing, right? So analysis means that we need to get data, raw data. That raw data has to be, massaged. I think Pundrik Prabhu knows this much more than all of us, I think. And once that is, it goes through a data engineering kind of a thing where raw data is collected and they do a kind of an analysis to make the data a bit more palatable. And then the data scientists and data analysis will do to prune the data and to churn the data and give some output of the data. So what this means is that the very word of analysis means the first step is the data capture. So in the next few or 4 or 5 weeks that we're going to do this assignment, each one of us have to spend a bit of a time to gather the data, and we can collate the data and we can analyze the data. So that is what it is. And very thankfully, GPC College is providing us very nice templates with examples. So we can be guided by them. We can take that guidance and do this thing. So in that way, a lot of thinking behind it has already been done. So this is the overview of the course. So let's read it together. Pundrik Prabhu, you want to read it?
Sure, Prabhu, I can read it. To make all team members aware of and agree to the following aspects of your zone temple project. A, who your current audience is, its needs, and how well your project temple zone is meeting or not meeting those needs through the services and products that you offer. Who your potential target audience, whom you would like to serve but aren't currently serving, is their needs, and how could you meet those needs by offering services/products. C, who your competitors are, where your audience, current and potential, goes to fulfill their needs when they don't come to you. What are the strengths and weaknesses of your competitors from your team's perspectives? This will enable you to segment your target market as per their needs and then identify appropriate services products for each market segment.
Yeah. So this is an very nice guidance here. So as we are applying this to our project, I request you to use these techniques and tools in your own material life, or even in your local projects, right? Whatever program that you undertake. For example, in RAK, Murli Prabhu can use this concept and to see what is there. So broadly, this is what we are going to do. So I'll highlight on each of those ABCDs thing, and then we'll go to the templates. So what are your current audience? So for us, we from the mission and mission statement, we have broadly defined that who are our audience. Yeah. Particularly, for example, our prime aim is to preach to the community of people who are not following the major the faith of this region, right? We are not going to intersect or intervene there. So that could be our current audience. Within that, people who have some affiliation or interest in the Sanatana Dharma kind of a things, or could be our current audience. And then who are our potential target audience? Like in that, if you see, our project is predominantly devotee. It starts with devotee care, one of the aspects, and also so within the devotee care, the audience is very clear. The people who are coming to our regular programs, people who are connected to our ISKCON through our children program, youth program, or programs that like Pundrik Prabhu conducts, like Muzanga programs and other kind of programs, Kaushal programs, and the people who participate in Kirtan Mela, or they come to Kirtan Mela, people who participate in our Balatsa program. So regular members is one, and other members could be them. And the people who are outreach, for example, Damodar Aarti programs and things like that. And of course, we not the least, the main powerful segment of the worker camp devotees. Primarily, these are the potential target, but we'll go through in detail when we are going through. So I'm just giving a picture of where we need to put those the silos or the sections where we need to concentrate on, and then extending further the community of people who attend the Kirtan Dubai kind of programs, and a special focus we may need to do for devotees who come, who also support ISKCON, who are not typical Indian, Bangladesh, Pakistan Hindus, but people who are from the other parts of the countries like Iran. We have people, devotees from Russia and other countries who are, in a way, white-bodied devotees are there. They're slowly increasing in our congregation also. I can see that during our Sunday feast programs itself. So these are typically our audience. I'm just giving an idea. And interestingly, we also need to see who are our competitors. It's an interesting word where they're using this word in a spiritual context of a program. I did tell them that if I would like to think of an alternative word for this instead of using a competitor. Competitor is typically used in business language. When you set up a business, you should know who is your competitor, and you need to overcome the competitor, or you have to, kill the competition is one of the key words, right? But here the competitor is a very interestingly, they define. When I heard this first time, I think I heard this in the ALP 1 itself, the word competitor. I liked it because I never ever saw in any of my congregational development thinking. For example, if I'm a part of Bhakti Ruksha, I attend the Bhakti Ruksha, we always talk about how do we get new people, how do we inspire new people, like that, right? But at least I myself, I was never thinking that if a person is not coming to our program at that time or of that time of the day, what is he doing? Where is he going? He could be a potential competitor, a potential audience for us, but he's not coming to us for whatever reason. So who are those, and what are those segments that we need to cater to? And what is the strength of the competitor, and what is the weakness of the competitor? Weakness that we can leverage on to attract them, and strength we can learn from them, why they go. So it could be very broad. When we do the competitor analysis, we can scope it if we want to start with, to say that potential people who are likely to come to our program but are not able to come to our program. Or it can be anybody, who is not like segment of people who are going to movies, who are going to clubs, who are going to pubs, who are going to do a lot of various sense gratification things. So as we go along, we'll discuss. But potentially, what we can do is we can scope it and see what are those potential people are doing on, for example, on a Sunday. What do they typically do? Why are they not getting out of their house to come to our program? Do they not know the easy awareness, or are we not doing socializing? Are we not being able to publish our programs, or is that our programs are happening only in one place that is causing them an issue? Should we tap them into the Bhakti Vrikshas or whatever? So, and what are their strengths? So why are they, whatever they are doing at a particular point, for example, in a Sunday program, Sunday time, what is it attracting them more? For example, is it sports that is attracting them more? Is it movies? Some people get attracted. Is it just staying with family? So those kind of things, as we go along, what are those very potential things for a person to get inside, huddle into the home or going somewhere else, but not coming to our program. So this can happen in the data collection. We can do a sample thing with some people that whom we know who are not able to come or who don't want to come. So by talking to them, we can understand. So that's the reason why this session, this ALP4, is quite intense in that way, where we need to make the best of our efforts to capture that information to the best of our effort. So in this session, Jaygo and Prabhu said that can we roll out some kind of a surveys Google Forms kind of a thing to capture the. There is no restriction from the GBC college side to do that, but whatever it is, it's very interesting to see this competitor thing, which I again confess that I never looked at into that way. And what are the strengths and weaknesses of your competitors from your team's perspective? So these are the things that we are going to do in this session. I'll just give a pause here. If any questions are there, I'll try to take it up.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Just one point which came in my mind is competitor, as you rightly said, should be someone who is a potential opponent. But there can be a situations where there is no competitor, but the family or the person will not come because they want to spend with the family. That cannot be a competition. I felt so.
Yeah, but no, agreed. That's why I said there is a bit of a discussion. Anyone else wants to comment on what Murli Prabhu has said? Please participate. Any comment on that before I give my opinion?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Just this is based on I believe that both the potential and the competitive factors are kind of covered in the Chaturvita Bhajante Mam shloka, either directly or indirectly. So, in my opinion, there are a lot of categories listed under those who are whom we want to cater and whom we could not cater, and even in the competitive category. While it is good when if you approach it from a corporate perspective, if you see things from a corporate angle, but since we are also Rupa Anugas, and we try to do within the framework of the Shastras, it would be better if all those line items, say 10, 12 plus 15 plus line items, if you try to group it under these 4 divisions which are coming under the Chaturvita Bhajante Mam, we will get better alignment. Otherwise, the concept is fine, Prabhu. That is my opinion. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, one clarification. What is that 11 items that you are referring to?
So in each and everything, for example, what are the groups which we want to cater? What are the groups which we are catering? What are the groups which we want to cater but could not cater? Who are all going to the competition? In every category, I saw at least more than 10 line items.
No, where, Prabhu? Which document are you referring?
The environmental scan or
okay, fine. This is what. Fine. Okay, fine. Okay. Yeah, thanks. Okay, this is a document that I've sent. Okay, fine. Yeah, any others? Any other person wants to comment?
Prabhu, if you like, I could just give one perspective on this.
Yeah.
In my consulting roles and analytic roles, we do a lot of audience analysis, competitive analysis. I could maybe give a perspective on how we do it from a purely business perspective and see if we can get it used here.
Very good.
Audience analysis and competitive analysis is completely number based. First, we should attach numbers to everything, and ideally, you come to a target audience size. So, for example, if I had to do it for my business, I would say there is a population of 10 million people in UAE. Out of 10 million people, Dubai has, Abu Dhabi has this much. I'm only going to serve Dubai crowd. Therefore, that reduces my target audience to 4 million. Out of 4 million, I'm going to only operate within Burt Dubai. Therefore, that will reduce my target audience down to 2 million. Out of 2 million, I believe I'm only looking for within this age group, within this nationality group. Therefore, that will say reduce it to 800,000. Within 800,000, if the potential customer reach that I can have in terms of buckets and marketing that I can do, I can reach 20% of them. That means I have targets of 80,000 customers. if 80,000 customers spend from this, therefore my potential business size is so much. And this is my target group that I should find out from this list. And that is an ideal scenario. If I reach 100% of my capability, I should have 80,000 customers coming into my this thing. And then my typical business, the retention rate is one visit every 3 months, or one visit every month, or one visit every week. Therefore, I would believe that 80,000 per quarter or per month, like this, I can build. If you would like, we can actually very much do the same numerical analysis for DDY.
Yep.
I can get demographic data, and we can start seeing age wise, this thing wise, and maybe we can just, it doesn't have to be accurate, but we can build a analysis to say, out of 10 million people in, say, for Dubai, since you're talking about, out of the 4 million people or 6 million people in Dubai, all by different demographics. For each demographic, for each age bracket, for each income bracket, what should be the kind of people who will be interested? And say we use some perspectives on that. And then we can say currently what is a yatra make looking like? How different is it to Dubai's make? So therefore, which communities are highly underrepresented? Which communities are highly overrepresented? Where are these other communities sitting in? So, for example, if you look at the Malayali community, okay, then there's many of them are sitting in other religions, or many of them don't attend ISKCON, they attend some other program. So this is how we do a full audience and competitive analysis. Would this be something interesting for you to come from a numerical perspective?
Excellent, Prabhu. Excellent. Once we go through this model, this template, this is a sample only. We don't have to use the same way. But yeah, exactly the same, Prabhu. I think that you'll add a super value here. But only one thing I wanted to suggest is in the 80,000, suppose whatever figure we just now told. So in that 80,000, we should be able to segregate much more granularity, right? The age groups or gender, or because these 80,000 are typically, say, for example, Hindus. So we can do a slice and dice of that also, and then see why we are not getting 80,000. In that 80,000, what is our expectation? Or we should also see what is our capacity to handle as of now, and how do we increase the capacity, right? So I think those analysis can also be done. Yeah, correct, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, absolutely. In fact, one good way to do that analysis, if you have an existing businesses, you will come up from a top down. That is, you'll come out and say, okay, out of this 80,000, in the age of 0 to 10, I should have 25%. In between 10 to 20 should be so much percent. And you'll think from top down, if you logically had to do, what should be that makeup of your group coming in. And then you see your actual devotee crowd. What is the real makeup? And then you will see that, oh, in this segment, I'm supposed to have a big number of portion. I should have a lot of representation of, say, 20 to 30-year-olds. But I don't. My children I'm more represented in the children's, but I'm very underrepresented in youth. I'm moderately represented amongst married couples with incomes, and very underrepresented in the older couples. So like this, then we will realize how much there's a mismatch in the market, and then you can study where those couples, then we'll have to, a lot of it will also be based on our assumptions and what we think we know from our studies. But when we put a number to it, we can then build a case to say, okay, we should target this group. This should be the places where we need to develop into. This is our real potential. This is actually the numerical potential DDY has. Otherwise, nobody can really say, is 1,000 a good number? Is 10,000 a good number? Is 100,000 the real number? Nobody can say today. So that potential.
Yeah, Prabhu, we lost your voice in the end. Well, yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
just a thought on my end.
Yeah, very good thinking, Prabhu. I think you should lead us in this way because you are in the analysis field. And any other inputs from Radha Mataji or Murli Prabhu or Sumangal Prabhu? If Sumangal Prabhu can talk, because I think he's outside India, outside UAE.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhu, I was just thinking like how Murli Charan Prabhu was telling that our topic, I mean, our mission is like our project is based on this devotee care. So do we really have any competitors I mean, based on the discussion, because I feel we are little away, like what we are discussing is we are only thinking on how many numbers are coming or not. Is it really relevant? Because we are only targeting on those who are already coming to the program, and then we give the devotee care for them. So I'm little confused here, Prabhu.
I'll try to clarify, Mataji. Devotee care, what we have learned in the Bhakti Habitats course given by Rajesh Shyam Prabhu, has got three very important components, which we have all previously also we have heard in some of our Sunday Feast lectures by visiting devotees. Contact, cultivate, care. These things we have to happen in a continuous manner. Contact is a thing that which attracts new people ongoing manner. That has to come. Like in any business, you have what is known as pipeline, right? So even though a person is getting very good businesses this year, his evaluation is not just on how much he has sold, but how much he has created the pipeline for him to act. So the contact concept on how to get more and more people into ISKCON or to the shelter of Prabhupada is a continuous process. That is contact. So once from the contacts, after we filter out, we come to what is known as cultivate. So then we go through with them on several things that keep happening. They start attending Bhakti Vriksha, send their children to classes or send their children to youth classes or whatever. Or they may just go and enroll into Pundarik Prabhu's Mridanga class, for example, if they're interested only in that. So in that way, there is a cultivation happens in whichever way they want to go. And then from the cultivation, some of them will come to the actual very regular thing. That's where the care, the dominance of care becomes more. And the thread of care happens in each layer, contact layer, cultivate layer, but the dominance of the significance of the care layer happens in the what you call is a segment, where we are already having the people, and that's where we are trying to care for them and give them a familial atmosphere, an atmosphere of sanctity, atmosphere of ethics following, and so many so forth that comes along with our ISKCON. So I hope I've answered your query. So our project per se, it is devotee care, but also devotee care has a very good segment of contact. So that's where this analysis will help. And so with regards to the competition, yeah, again, I repeat, it's the way we understand. And I think Pundarik Prabhu has explained, but again, I repeat, it is just one question that we should keep in mind that if those 80, from that 80,000, we segment it to 20,000, for example, 4 categories. And in that, we should analyze how many people are coming to our programs and what is that preventing them from not coming, or what is that other thing that is attracting them to go there. So these are the two things that we need to know. And whatever we do, it may not be perfect, because we are not a very professional organization. We are not employing an organization to do this, right? But this is a good beginning, and it through some iterations, we should be able to provide, we should be able to collect some information and be able to present it to Srila Prabhu also to get to his insight. Because long time back, at least about a decade back, when once Jayapataka Swami Maharaj came, so there was a similar kind of a discussion was there, and His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj has showed us what they did in Malaysia. So what Pundarik Prabhu has told now is exactly now I can correlate what Malaysian Yatra has done it. And 2 years back, during our His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj Vyasa Puja, during COVID, it was online. So at that time, different yatras around the world presented, and Russian Yatra has presented a very detailed presentation about their yatra, complete yatra. And it's also exactly matching what Pundarik Prabhu has told. They've diagnosed, they collected so much data, and they were using the data for the development of the yatra. And Guru Maharaj also liked it very much. So I hope I've answered your query, Mataji.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you.
So Sumangal Prabhu or Murli Prabhu, you have anything? So otherwise we'll quickly move to this.
Yeah, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Dhanapram, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for explaining the very beautiful topic, actually. This is not only for the yatra, even for our personal application or for our corporate sector also, we can apply this project. And very nice feedback from the senior devotees. So Prabhuji, this collection of data, I think this is the fundamental of our project, which is, I mean, it's like a foundation of a building. If foundation is good, and further building is becoming also good, you know. So this is the collection of data is very, very important. If this is wrong, actually then further analysis, the result we are going to get actually also going to be wrong actually. So we need to get more accurate data and more information is going to be the very, very fundamental of our whole project, I think, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is
Correct.
Prabhuji?
Agreed.
So,
agreed. We are agreed.
this
So
we need
that's
your
why
guidance.
no, that's why we will go through different iterations. And again, we don't have to work for perfection in this. We have to get an idea that's enough for us to move forward. So there is a so when we execute into massive programs, right? Programs like any more than billion kind of things. First time I got into a program which is as a company when we started Emal, which was about $5 billion, you know, overall project, and nothing was there. The first day when I went to the site to establish the IT department, I could not even locate the site because there's nothing in the Tavila. It's near, you know, Abu Dhabi to Dubai, completely desert. There's only one building I saw, that was some Sheikh's palace. So basically, I was sent to establish a small site office which has got a computer connectivity. Even land out, Etisalat cables are not there. It has to be a microwave. So I was very stunned. So I got scared that why did they assign me this project? I'll be a total failure because I'm only seeing this. So, but we started it. Then I went to Abu Dhabi, Etisalat office, got the coordinates, and slowly it started. So what I learned in that project were two things which my project director has told me, and I always share that also, because it was completely blank. And on the day when I came back, I was very frustrated. I felt that company has wantedly pushed me to that place to sack me. This is what my, but 4 or 5 years later, when I saw that whole plant come up and when they announced that this is the fastest ever built smelter in the world, it's the longest production line in the world. Then I was surprised myself. One second, bro. So why I'm saying sorry, I'm telling my own personal story. But the fact of the matter is, so I've learned two things in that project, which my project director is. One is by inch we can clinch, by yard it is tough, or by yard it is tough, by inch we can clinch. When we get into this haze project, it's completely dark for us to maneuver. We should not measure in yards. We should measure in inch. Slowly, inch by inch, inch by inch, inch by inch, when we go, suddenly there'll be time to come where we can measure by foot, then by multiple feet, then you'll get the yard. So that's one thing we learned. And second thing he told, that in this kind of a project, he was referring to that project, best is the enemy of good. Don't at the beginning itself aim at best. It becomes an enemy of good. If you're trying to aim at best, you can't even achieve good. So reduce your expectation and take what is palatable to you and move on. And in the iterations that we go through, we can get it better and better. Yeah. So I'm just trying to share. So we don't have to be overwhelmed to see, oh my God, how am I going to get this data? We can do it. We can go it in slow way. And this is not that we are going to start from today. We'll be going to have multiple meetings on this and how we are going to do, and we can share our own strategies either through WhatsApp groups, WhatsApp messages, so that we can at one point we can consolidate and do it. Yeah. So accuracy and inaccuracy, we don't have to bother now, Prabhu, at this stage. It may be inaccurate, but it definitely gives some direction to us. And we are not going to make any drastic decisions which may impact people, right? It's only our own analysis. We are not going to change people's life or change Yatra's direction on this. It is just our analysis which will help us to be focused. Yeah, am I clear, Prabhu?
Yeah, Prabhuji, very nice. Yeah, thank you so much. Prabhuji, just another point I want to share is that devotee care, when we say devotee care, it's not only the devotee who we are interacting with on daily basis or coming to our programs, but the devotees, the potential devotees. That is caring them is also I think one of the purpose of this project, is not it?
Yeah, care. That is contact, no?
Contact, yeah. So
Our
that's right.
scope starts from contact, not beyond that. How to get more people into that? We can do that. I wish we can meet sometime in these calls or something. I'll be very happy to share what we have learned in that Bhakti Habitat course. So we had 2 Bhakti Habitat courses. One is Bhakti Habitat East by Radhesham Prabhu, who has given a lot of models and how they've succeeded in the voice and bass programs, and as part of his program, how they got so many devotees into ISKCON, full time or non full time. And then there's other session was there for Bhakti Habitat West. How this Bhakti Habitats is basically how to get people into the fold of ISKCON. So in West, in Florida, what is that experiment they did and how they've succeeded? So because models are different, because the geography and cultures are different, right? But at some point in time during this discussion, I'll definitely share some of the big highlights that I have learned from that course. Yeah, definitely we'll go through that. Any last point, Murali Prabhu, before we go to the template?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you have actually highlighted the points of palatable and going slow rather than an overwhelming one. Just wanted to share the query which I had, because it has been answered. My thought process was basically we should not violate the basic principles just for the sake of competition and trying to get the numbers or such stuff, because the core is 4 regulative principles, 16 rounds chanting. These are the areas where the competitors go beyond and try to cover up in overall perspective.
Yeah. Absolutely. Core principles will not be compromised. They're all, but higher principles and lower principles will be applied. Yeah. So we are not going and saying that whatever we cannot. We are working under the ethics of ISKCON, right? Under the core values of ISKCON, and we also have our own values for our own project. So that is an uncompromisable thing. Uncompromisable thing. With that, we would not compromise. Absolutely, there is no doubt about it. Yeah. At the end of the class, if after I stop the recording, I'll try to share something in that regard also. We need to also know, because we need to know our history of ISKCON. But that will be a digression to that. But I'll tell the core principles, how acharyas have seen it also, just to give a different flavor to that. Okay. So now I'll thanks a lot for all the inputs. So now I will go to this template that they have given, a sample template. It's very good. I request all of you to go through it. So basically, they're saying that analyzing and understanding what is going on in the overall society, that a temple or a project situation is called environmental scan. Before I go, I just wanted to connect with what Punrik Prabhu has told. Punrik Prabhu, do you know any sources where we can collect this kind of a demographic data about the country, population, and genders and things like that? Do we have any contacts within our congregation or outside?
No, bro, it's all available publicly. Dubai Statistics Center and Abu Dhabi Statistics Center have all of this already.
Okay.
And anything with salaries you can get from Dubai DD website. Anything from residents you can get from the anything with real estate and all those kind of things you can get from the real estate websites. All of this is part of Dubai's open data policy. So we regularly use all this data. Just one perspective, Prabhu, is that for some of the doubts on accuracy or why it is needed, the whole thing is It is not an accuracy study. It is not to understand specifically these are the 500 people's houses we need to go to. It's not like that. The aim is just to see, um, really the question is to answer, are we doing as good as we can be doing? Is there potential to do more? That
Yes.
is the question. Now, many times what happens is everybody says, half the people in the room will say, no, there is no potential to do more. Half the people will say, yes, there is potential to do more. The best way to resolve this question once and for all is to come up with some number logically. Just use some high level logic, use some assumptions, use a logic. And we can open up and say, give our assumptions, how we came to this number. When we came up with these numbers, then 1 second, sorry. 1 second. So what ends up happening with all of this is it gives you a lot of ability to just put down a note to say, yes, there is scope to do something better. And it gives you an idea to say how much better can we really push ourselves to go after. That's all it does. And then this, when in the reality in the ground is, this might be very different. You might not be able to target anybody from a vegan population, for example, because our ground realities are very different. Most of them are just well-wishers and they're atheists or whatever. This reality can be very different, but at least it gives us some idea. Let us try and engage these things. And later on, the best thing about this is this process slowly gets refined over time. So I would have tried this kind of market, and then I'll see I'm getting no response, and then we'll try a different approach, and then you'll say, okay, you get this much response. So then you'll change your assumption. Okay, there's only this percentage of people I can really get to. But at least keeping a track of this will actually help us understand very clearly, number related way, where is the potential, what area should I be focusing in, and at least you can build a hypothesis, you can build a perspective on it and go for it. Whenever we get into any industry where there is no idea how to progress further, or nobody really comes in with numbers, nobody is really giving objective discussions, and it's more about opinions, we normally do the study because at least you can get everyone on the same board and say, okay, now we have this. This is pretty much how it is used in a consulting perspective. Krishna conscious wise, we need to use our intelligence and change it accordingly.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Very, very well said. In engineering terms, when they do the big projects, there's a term called feed, front-end engineering. So front-end engineering design that happens. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Prabhu. Excellent. So now I'll move to this template. They're very kind enough to give such a nice template and example sample template also. It's very good. So I request you to kindly go through that. And it is very detailed indeed. The way they have done it is superb. Analyzing and understanding what's going on in the overall society and the temple project is in a situation is called environmental scan. And in that, we have audience analysis, competitive analysis. And here they're saying that Srila Prabhupada himself conducted an environmental scan when he was still living in Bowery, New York, by visiting Mukunda and Janaki, two of his first disciples, to ask questions about the American life and culture. It's very interesting. Environmental scans collect information about the preaching areas, such as what do you know about community around you, what are the needs, and what is important to them. So these are the things. And then to whom are you currently reaching out, your current audience. So this is where the good thing that this template has got so much thing, but we don't have to necessarily use this template like this, because we have to just go through this template, get the important points, and use our own creative ways to do the analysis. We can also just follow this, but I wanted to be more creative and more improvise this, and then come out with our things. But as a general guidelines, it is super. It is just, if we just follow this, we can get it. We can just knock out what is not relevant and add what is relevant. That is one thing. And we, as Pundrik Prabhu said, we can put the figures also. Some kind of a figures and our hypothesis on this. The potential audience is there. This also we have a thing. And then how do you currently attempt to satisfy the above needs? Okay. So this also we have youth, children, kids, regulars, non-regulars. We also have this. And okay, this is there, it's continuing. And then of course, I think it goes to various audience fall into different group segments. This is what we can do. And then competitive analysis. So here they put these denominations, right? Various, that religion, and then other totally other stream of things. And there are even in the Hindu things, what are the other things that are people are going? So this is a good thing for us to do. This is what is the competition analysis. It is nothing major we are doing against anybody. We are trying to see what they do. For example, if you talk about a small example on our Balotsav programs, right? There is also a similar program which is conducted by Sri Vaishnava group for children. It is basically a concept that was originated by Chinnajaya Swami. So they also have got a good audience. May not be as big and as grand as us, but they're very silent. But they capture kids and they teach them in a very nice curriculum manner. And there's another group also is there where one of my colleagues is a teacher, was a teacher, he's retired now. They teach the Bala Siksha, and there are a lot of candidates that come. And there are similar programs in Chinmaya Mission, where we used to, before our Bhakti Balotsav evolved, 15, 20 years back, our kids used to participate in the Chinmaya thing, right? So these are the things, I mean, just an example I'm giving. Similarly, Pundit Prabhu may be knowing about some other youth programs also going on elsewhere. We do not know yet. So competition, we should not take in that way that we are going to squash them or something like that. Competition is something that, where are they going and what are they doing? That kind of so as a society where people are spending their time, that's a good thing for us to know also. We don't get influenced by that, but we may try to influence them or reach out to them at least. And this analysis will immensely help not only for us in the project. For example, Pundrik Prabhu and all are doing Kirtan Rasa next year. This analysis can be used to feed them also, right? Maybe they're missing some segments to catch, because that's a mega event. That's a flagship event of our Damodar Desh every year. Maybe it can be done or something. I'm just throwing up some ideas. So what I request is kindly go through this, and if I can take the liberty to ask it, kindly be interactive in our WhatsApp group itself, team WhatsApp group, that if you're doing any work on this and if you have got any other ideas to do this, so that we don't have to meet together, and we can in a collaborative using the WhatsApp medium, we can formulate, and then after 2-3 weeks, after some things get consolidated, we can have one more meeting and then formulate our real action plan, and we can cut the scope and to do. So here this is another last thing I really liked. It is competitor name, their strength and their weakness. So for example, in the competitor, they found that they are very good in public relationship. Like for example, this public relationship, I also like it because I'm a part of, I mean, being a Telugu person, I'm not directly a part, but the part of that group which Dharmaraju Prabhu used to lead, Sampradayam. They have a very good public relation. There are only 30 to 40 people in the core members, but when they conduct the program, 12 to 15,000 people come, right? And in a couple of programs, they had ministers coming from India. And in the recent program, which was conducted in May, they had got the sheikh, one of the sheikhs to attend it. And on the stage, at the place where Venkateshwara Kalyanam was going on, that sheikh came and they played the UAE national anthem, and a lot of public thing was there. So this is one thing. Like so, like if Sharana is not, Sampradayam is not a competitor in that sense to us. But then we need to see, when they conduct programs, why 12,000 people are coming, but when we are conducting Janmashtami, why only is it a space problem? Can we conduct Janmashtami in multiple places or one big place? But Janmashtami is one event, right? So people then Venkateshwara Kalyanam is also one event. Actually, they're conducting 3: Goda Kalyanam, Ramanami, Sitaram Kalyanam, Venkateshwara. 3 programs they're conducting. Goda Kalyanam is not less crowd, but Sitaram Kalyanam and other programs attract thousands. So this is where it triggers us what's happening to them. They're coming and going, even though there is a reasonably significant ISKCON footprint in the program. People who are giving the back-end support, people who are giving the strategic support, people who are giving the prasadam support, everything is ISKCON. They just get the priests and do it, right? So where are they going after this is something is interesting. And how are they catching these big people to come to their programs and give the publicity? I'm just throwing some ideas. So, and here, this is also interesting. This regulative principles comes here from Murali Prabhu. Allow for the freedom to basically do whatever you like and label yourself spiritual. You know, that is the strength. It becomes easy for people to come there, right? But we don't have that liberty to do that. Okay. So it's a very broad thing, and we are not going to finish this in one meeting. But it is, the whole exercise is going to, in my opinion, going to trigger our things and also be helpful in our for the project and also for the yatra. The output that we are going to give the yatra will, I think, will be a very useful thing, and someone else can always improve. So I'm approaching this in that way, even though it may look a bit overwhelming now, but as we all collectively do and segregate our work, once we get the basics done, after we exchange our inputs. So I request again, you kindly go through it, share your thoughts on this, any approach thing to do or anything. You just, whatever comes in mind, you just share it in the WhatsApp. So I will consolidate those, and I will then I'll call for a meeting. We have time. We don't have to get hurry, but keep this in mind, thinking in this mind that these are the things. I have to identify my audience. I have to I scope the thing. I have to put in some demographic information. I may need to put a number to that. And Pundrik Prabhu, if you can put that site name in our team meeting, so we can also go through that.
Which site was the demographics?
Yes. That site you refer, right? In the WhatsApp chat, you can put.
Okay, Prabhu, I'll have to look for them. I'll do that.
Yeah, and that's it from today's session. Big thanks a lot for all of you. And any other final thought before we close?
No, Prabhu, thank you so much. I mean, it's a wonderful session, Prabhuji, and feedback also. Pundrik Prabhu's feedback is really wonderful. It looks like a scientific things, you know. Hare Krishna.
So I will stop the record. Thanks a lot for all of you. Any other final comment before I stop the recording?
Thank you, Prabhu. That's it from
Thanks. And also, one good thing is, as our Janmashtami is also approaching, so we can also do a kind of a virtual scan of the audience. If this is there in our mind, of this audience analysis, when we attend these programs and participate in Janmashtami programs, this audience can be there in our mind, so that we can get some thoughts about it. Yeah. So I'll